Well, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tyler's Real Fishing. I'm super excited about this episode today. I've wanted to do this idea for a long time, and basically that is kind of a two-part idea. First is how to get better at fishing by practicing and preparing where you live at your local ponds, things like that, and ways that you guys at home can do that. And secondly, how you guys can get involved with youth fishing or adult fishing at your local level so you guys can become more advanced bass anglers yourself. So, let's get started. Now folks, I've got to address something kind of before we get this video started, and that is the purpose for this video. Now we all know that watching YouTube videos and fishing content online is fun. That's why I do it. I do fishing on YouTube so I can, of course, teach you guys the techniques and abilities to be able to catch more fish. But kind of an overall purpose is just to have fun. I want to show you guys that fishing and spending time outdoors is much better than any other alternative, especially spending time indoors like many kids do nowadays. And so kind of the purpose of today's video is I wouldn't say to get you off YouTube, but it is to prepare you more as to how to become a better bass fisherman. So what I've kind of set up here, as you guys may be able to see, is 3 different cups that I've kind of placed throughout my backyard in order to practice pitching, flipping, and casting into them. Now, if you guys are new to the fishing industry kind of in general, here's a few tips for you. Fish oftentimes don't bite your lure if it is presented in a super loud way. Now, I can tell you many times when I just absolutely bombed a crankbait or a topwater in there and the fish exploded on it right away. But the majority of the time when you are fishing a presentation like a jig, a Texas rig, a soft plastic, if you are fishing what I would call a close scenario, which is 10 to 20 yards, you are much more likely to catch a fish if that bait is presented in a soft, I'd say kind of slow way. So if you're always using super high, long bomb casts and your bait's coming down like a, atomic bomb hitting the water, you're probably not going to be able to catch those fish because you're most likely scaring them out of the areas that you're casting into. So basically what I've done is I've set up 3 different cups in kind of 3 separate areas for this first part of the challenge, I should say. So basically kind of what I do is I take a jig or any other soft plastic bait that you don't really care about. I don't really care about this white swim jig that I've had for quite a few years that I don't believe I've ever thrown before, but just for safety's sake, I did put some blue masking tape over the hook. That way, in my repetitive casts over and over, I'm not going to hook myself or hook the St. Augustine grass that I'm flipping on. So basically what I'm going to do is I have a cup over there in the corner with some rocks in it at kind of an angle, so it's going to be more of a, an angular skip or a flip in there. I have one cup next to the tree that's going to represent flipping to like a lay down, and then I have one way over here that's completely flat against the ground that's going to represent like skipping under a dock or something like that. And so basically what I'm going to do, and I did this as a kid growing up, and that's kind of how I became so good at especially shallow fishing around docks, wood, and those type of covers, is because I spent hours every day after school and before school right out here on my porch practicing. That's kind of one of the things that I want to preach throughout this video, is that in order to get better at fishing, watching YouTube videos will teach you knowledge, but it will not teach you skill. You have to get out and practice yourself. So what I would do is basically, that was horrible. I would stand on the edge of my porch here and just flip for hours. So basically what I do is I'm going to start off by focusing on one cup, that cup right over there. And so I'm going to kind of get my technique down for the low hanging type skip until we get one. And then you can set goals for yourself to get 2 in a row, 5 in a row. I hate grass, catches your line there. Now, one thing that is very important when practicing flipping and pitching, and basically any sort of, practice fishing, is you want to practice your best. And so you don't want to practice flipping high baits like this nonchalantly. You want to practice like you're in a tournament, like you're fishing, like your livelihood depends on it. And so basically, I like to give it plenty of power with plenty of low velocity. That's kind of what flipping and pitching is about, is keeping your bait low to the water and kind of slowing it down with your thumb as it gets close to your desired target. So, as you can see here by this long out one, see I'm getting close every time, and that is because I'm keeping it low, I'm giving it plenty of power, but I'm also slowing it down with my thumb right at the end there. And so, we're going to try to get one in here, each of these cups. Now, one thing that I also love to do is after I've hit the target a few times with my dominant hand, I like to switch to the other hand and start flipping with that hand as well. Now, I'm not as good with my left hand as I am with my right, but it's about the same motion. The right hand, you grab the bait, or you just kind of let it swing like this, flip it up, flip it out, reel in, and then kind of when I'm here, I switch and flip it back out. With the left hand, there's no need to switch your hands. Oops. And so basically, you can just make a whole lot more presentations a lot quicker than you can just with your right hand. One thing that I do is kind of as soon as I wouldn't say master, but get better at the short cups, I like to move them farther away. So I'll take this cup, move it kind of way out here. And then once I move the cup kind of out here and the other two cups as well, I like to work on a thing that I call a roll cast. So I guess everybody calls it a roll cast, which is basically used for shallow water fishing as well. But it can be used for any type of fishing, no matter what the scenario. So let's get back on the wood and cast to these targets. And so of course, casts like this are gonna take a whole lot more skill and preparation and a lot more brake adjusting on your bait caster. But once you get it going good, you can really practice targeting, I'd say, casting to anything. So it can be casting to a retaining wall, casting to a dock, anything like that. Adjust your position. Oh goodness. That's why you can't do a roll cast on your back porch. And if you happen to have manicured grass, you can practice skipping at home. The grass that we have today is not exactly, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just called St. Augustine grass, which has a lot of stalks that shoot up. And so it's not the easiest for skipping on ground like you can skip on water. But like I said, it's all about practice. Even if it's not the exact same scenarios you'll be facing out on the water, you're at least getting your mind and your body ready for those positions out there. Because I can't tell you how many times I pull up to a shoreline, I see a kid or a fisherman that has already fished a whole row of docks, but yet I'm not dismayed by that fact. I think, well, he's probably not as good at skipping the docks as I am. He's probably not as good at getting his bait in those positions. And so I've gone down the dock line and I consistently catch fish after that person. And they look back and they're like, I just fished that dock. Well, that's because they didn't have the right skills in order to present their bait in the right way. And so that is why practice is super important, because I would say almost nobody does it nowadays. It's like practice is such a rare thing, when really it should be the first thing you do before you even head on the water. Before you try a new bait, you should be practicing with it at your house, at your dock, at your lake house, anything like that. Practice is important, even if that's what your parents and coaches have always told you. It is true. That should count. Oh, a quick sponsor plug. The shirt that I'm wearing today, I don't know why I almost took it off, is the AFCO Ninja shirt. Basically has a hoodie on it, so that way when you're out on the water, you don't get sunburned. Trying to get it on. There it is. Get you one. Discount code, link in bio. You know what I think we should do? I think we should do a little bit of a clothes change. Whoa, look at that. We are in my high school jersey. This is the jersey that I actually designed back in the day. Got some of our old high school sponsors on it. Look at that. I'm excited to head back to my tournament. So basically, what I'm doing right now, if it wasn't clear, is that all the way zoomed in? Oh man, there we go. If it wasn't clear, I'm heading back to my high school tournament to be an MC for it. So sorry for all this confusion, but let's head there now. So I don't know how many of you guys know this or not, but when I was 15 years old, I had the desire to start a high school fishing team. And so high school fishing was still a relatively small thing back in the day, but I decided that I want to start a team at my high school, Lake Travis, which is where I grew up in Austin. And so I decided that I was going to create a team. Me and my buddy Clark were kind of the founders of the team, and we had one of our first tournaments a few years later, big tournaments, was called the Lake Travis Cup. And it's basically like a cup that, it's hard to explain, but kind of when you win the cup as your school, you travel around with the cup throughout the year and kind of flaunt it off to everybody else. And me and my buddy Watt actually won the LT Cup for the first time on its inaugural tournament. And so I'm heading back over there. But I kind of wanted to address real quick how you guys can get involved in high school fishing. And so that's kind of the first tier, in my opinion. You can go youth fishing if your area has that, but high school fishing is kind of the first available time to get involved in the fishing industry. Now, a lot of people say, well, I can't fish high school tournaments because I don't have a boat. Well, a lot of times adult volunteers from the local bass clubs in the area actually volunteer their time to come and put two young guys in their boat and take them out for the day. So don't worry if you don't have a boat, there's plenty of guys with boats out there. And the second one is, well, Tyler, my team doesn't have a school. Well, actually, first off, you can create one. That's what I did. My team didn't have a school. Bruh. But I went through the process through it's called the Bass Federation, and I created a high school team. You can also make one through BASS or FLW. And so I just basically created a team for my school. And if you don't have enough members at your school or people that you think would fish at your school, you can also join either an organization, like there's this team called the Faith Angler Network, which I'm sure you'll see guys at this tournament today that are from FAN, or just another high school that has a fishing team. Because this is not a statewide sport yet, except for in, I believe, Kentucky and Illinois, maybe another state, you can fish on any school's team no matter what school you go to, whether private or public. So I say we get over the tournament and see what's going on. So way back when I won this tournament, actually that was the episode that I put out where we had a TV show come and film the tournament, which was super cool. I was able to win when the Canadian TV show came down. So Looks like boats are just starting to come in. I'm the weighmaster today, which means I talk to all the kids and see how they got their fish. 3.79 pounds. Takes over for a big bass of the day.
On a Senko, Texas rig, under a dock.
Of course, Texas rig Senko. You guys got anything else to say?
That's what our day was like.
Not really.
Make them look like a 10-pounder.
5 fish for 9.38 pounds.
All right, Fredericksburg, boat number.
34.
Go talk to Mr. Tyler. He's got some questions for you. Boat number 34.
Fish a little slower. That's kind of what it takes sometimes when you have a cold front come through your lake. But it looks like you still had some nice fish today. You guys have a good practice? You do any sort of fin fishing? Not this time. Gotcha. 8.08 pounds. Good job today.
Good job, guys.
Just takes it over 5.42 pounds. 10.74 pounds. We have new leaders, everybody. So how'd you catch those fish today?
Well, I've caught the big one on a jig, and then the other ones were various like drop shots and other stuff like that.
So just junk fishing all day, fishing anything you see, and all sorts of baits. That's good. Sounds good. Well, good job today, boys. New leaders. We'll see you guys after the weigh-in. And hopefully the wind isn't too bad, but this is the Lake Travis Cup they're fighting over. And as you can see, there I am right there. 2013 was the first year when we won that thing. So that's my name on there. Super cool.
Sealed the deal all the way around, and you guys are going to get some awesome stuff. These are 2 St. Croix Mojo Bass Series rods, 2 Shimano Siticas.
LT1 individual. We'll see about the cup. We won the cup.
So here's how we do this.
That's my team. They won the cup.
Right when we left, a school surfaced. They threw some stuff in there.
No
and
way.
got 2 more fish to fill their limit.
Yeah, so fish are schooling out in Lake Travis right now, which is the story of the day. Supposedly on very specific spots and only for like a minute. So they'll kind of flare up, you can catch them on a spook and stuff like that. And that's how all the big fish are coming right now. My dad's team caught 4 fish?
4 fish.
4 fish. They have the tallest guy and the shortest girl, which is pretty neat. This is Randy's boat from last year. And this is a guy named Chris Wool.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so he gave some money to the King's Home and actually walked away with Randy's boat last year. So I don't know what time this video will go up. Hopefully we'll get it out soon. That way we can give Randy some more promotion. But if you guys want to give money to the King's Home, you can win this awesome boat. Has it been a good boat so far?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How fast are you going on this thing?
70 at least.
Oh,
so.
at least 70.
Yeah.
He's got beautiful blue power poles. Look at that. Beautiful Triton. So the tournament is over. LT regained the cup, which is super cool. I'm very glad they had me back to do the emceeing for the tournament. It was a lot of fun. I'm about to get a haircut at Great Clips, so we'll see you guys after the haircut. All right, just finished with my haircut. Hopefully you guys like it. Comment below if you do. If you don't, then let me know. I really don't care if you do or don't, but we're gonna head to dinner, and then I'll see you guys back in my garage to talk about college and adult fishing. So we are back here in the garage with good old Pearl. If you guys are new to the channel, that is my bass boat, Pearl. She's white, and that's why we call her Pearl. And we have 2 power poles here. These are the Pearl sticks. Good old Pearl sticks. But I'm gonna put the camera down real quick, and we're gonna talk about kind of all the stages of tournament fishing and how you guys can get involved. So I get questions about this kind of stuff all the time, and I thought that I'd take a minute now to address it. And so kind of what we talked about in the beginning of the video was how to get better as a fisherman yourself by practicing, whether that's casting to, I don't know, a floaty that you throw out in your local pond, casting to a tree that you see all the time, or flipping in your yard like I was doing. Practice is super important. But another thing, I know tournaments aren't for everybody. Not everybody has the means necessary or the location to fish tournaments, but tournaments are spreading around the country, and so I kind of wanted to inform you guys and let you know it's a great way to meet a lot of people in the fishing industry and really evolve your skills as a fisherman. And so basically, I got started in the high school level. Now I fish for college, which we'll talk about later. And then of course, you're gonna get into the semi-pro and the pro bass fisherman, which I will talk about in a separate video, probably a dock talk by itself. So high school fishing, practically anybody can join. Usually there's like a little dues every semester or so, or every tournament they have an entry fee. And so it's pretty simple. And so for college, it's pretty simple. Like the school that I go to, Texas A&M, we have our own bass fishing team. It was started 15 years ago or so, whenever college fishing was first created. And all you gotta do is pay your dues at the beginning of the semester, like any organization on campus, and you can be able to fish on the team. And so we fish the BASS tour, we fish the FLW, not the pro stuff, the college series. And then kind of the goal of college fishing is to prepare you for a career as a professional fisherman somewhere. So whether that's on the FLW circuit, the BASS circuit, or any sort of Bass Opens, FLW Costa Series, anything like that. Now, if you guys want to hear more about kind of tournament fishing as a whole, kind of how I got started, why I love tournaments, and where I see tournaments going in the future, I think that could be a super, super cool video. So drop a like if you want to see that, and a comment as well. I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to watch some football. I got my hair cut, as I told you guys, and maybe pack up a little bit of fishing stuff, and I got to head back to college. Today was a fun day because I just got to drive in, hang out with the team at Lake Travis. Congrats to them again for winning the cup, and then I'm going to head back. So it was a great, great episode. If you guys like it, make sure you guys subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and then again, if this video comes out by the time Randy Howell's boat giveaway is still open, make sure you guys go give a $100 donation to the King's Home, and you guys could win Randy's boat. It's absolutely incredible. So we'll see you guys on the next episode of Tyler's Real Fishing.